Hi, this is Reiner. I'm the founder of the Mindful Leader, also co-founder of the New You. My mission is to cultivate presence, to upgrade your body and mind. And so today I want to talk a little bit more about the topic of mind management. Mind management is what I practice on a daily basis, and it evolved in the past 7 to 8 years when I was really drilling in, going deeper into different aspects of neuroscience, neurofeedback, but also all kind of mindfulness practices, where I was trying to figure out how can I systematically train the mind and basically get it in a better shape so that it's not the mind ruling me, right, and being delivered to the untamed, so to speak, mind. It's the other way around, so that I am, as awareness, can observe the mind, but I can take advantage of the mind by really using it as a tool, a highly effective tool for problem solving, for creativity, lots of things I can do with a trained mind. And so there's different aspects that I realize that are there, and those I pull together, what I now refer to as mind management. Why is this important? Well, because a lot of people, they may heard about, let's say, mindfulness, maybe mindful leadership, and then it looks like then, oh yeah, there's this mindfulness, and then people may associate this with meditation, pretty much, maybe some breathing work, but that's it, and then think that's it, right? So and then I do a little bit of meditation, and that will do the trick. Unfortunately, that's usually not the case. Mind management is more comprehensive. It's like, you can compare this with, there's different aspects of mind management, 6 or 7. It's still evolving also in my framework that I set up around mind management. And then with each of these areas, there are different tools, methods, things you can choose from, because everyone is different, and what works for one in this particular aspect may not work for another one. And then there's also ways on how to measure progress. I call them KPIs in each of these areas, right? Which is nice. So then you can actually see how is my mind evolving. And the reason you want to do mind management is that you really, as I stated at the beginning, train your mind in a systematic way, keep it operating at very high performance, high clarity, but also calmness and stillness, so that you can make the best possible conscious decision. You're not operating in a reactive mode or autopilot, right? So it's running pretty much on the conditioned mind, right? Everything is already predetermined. Now you want to have conscious decision, and all those things together is mind management. So there is a good article that summarizes this on my blog, so I encourage you to check out on my blog around mind management. But on a high level, I'll introduce you now to these different aspects. The first one is what I call be aware. Be aware. So that is your presence, your level of present awareness, and that is you being fully alert, living in the moment, and observing what really is. That is presence, right? And cultivating presence, there's a variety of different ways on how to do it. Simple mindfulness exercises, like brushing your teeth mindfully, in 2 minutes, where you really pay attention of what you're doing. Not doing this automatically, just thinking about the next meeting later on in the day, what's happening. No, it's actually paying attention to brushing your teeth. And when you spend 2 minutes brushing your teeth in a fully mindful state, that's what I refer also to as mindful minutes. And then you can collect and accumulate these mindful minutes over the course of the day. And the more you can accumulate, the more present you were over the course of the day. This is actually your level of present awareness, your LPA, is basically the number of mindful minutes divided by usually your waking time, which is about 960 minutes, roughly 1,000 minutes, assuming an 8-hour sleep window. So presence is the most important one. And I mentioned this also in different videos, the importance of cultivating your presence as an underlying foundation. The next dimension is what I call relax and recover. And that means that your mind over the course of the day is usually running on full speed, right? And if there's actually devices that let you measure this, then you actually see, oh my goodness, right? It's all basically adrenaline, cortisol, high levels of activity going on. There is no rest, right? And you can see these pictures. And I encourage you to get one of these tracking devices so that you can track your stress levels over the course of the day, and you see it's all red, basically. There's no breaks in between. It's like boom, 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 boom. And that is a problem. And relax and recover means figuring out how to achieve a balance by spreading and integrating a lot of breaks over the course of the day and having restful, relaxing sleep. Sleep is usually the number one priority, and if you can do this in a good way, the next challenge is now generating enough breaks and relaxation over the day, and then you can master this category, right? And I definitely encourage you, two things is measuring sleep quality and figuring out how many breaks are you actually rest, right? How much rest activity are you actually introducing? Like an example would be a 2-minute or 5-minute break between meetings, just to introduce more and more rest. And then automatically what's happening with enough rest and recovery, the brain performance, cognitive performance is going up significantly. So that is the second category. The other one is around letting go. That is like think about letting go about like a mental shower, so to speak, that you ideally do every day. But there is a lot of negative energy accumulating, already has accumulated in the past, from childhood, whatever. And this energy is basically sitting there and is continuously being enhanced, right? There's more and more coming into it. And so it's important to let go of this. There's different ways of doing it, and I will share some of these tips as well, but the idea is to decrease this level of stale negative energy, flush it out. It will accumulate, there will be always new one coming in, I guarantee you, but then you flush it out again. So it's constantly basically cleansing your energy field, so to speak. So there's letting go. The next category is toward conscious decisions and manifestations. This is about getting out of a reactive mode, becoming more conscious when things happen over the course of the day that upset you, instead of bursting and becoming angry, frustrated, anxious, defensive, whatever it is. Integrating small periods of space that allow you just sufficiently, in terms of length, allow you to make a different choice, right? And when you make better choices, not reactive choices, but more helpful choices, the quality of everything you do will improve. Manifestation is then what you bring into the world around your ideas and thoughts. You know, they manifest. You probably heard this, positive thinking, thinking in positive directions, you basically reap the results of what you think, right? And so you can see, if you have more clearer thinking, less reactive thinking, also more constructive, creative, positive thinking, you will basically manifest more helpful things into your environment, which will then help you to reach better goals and accomplishments in life. So that's another dimension. And then there is the last one here, is forming healthy habits. at the end of the day, for all of those different things, there's no magic bullet, right? It's not like this one pill you take and then you're all set with mind management. It's like little small things that you have to do on an ongoing basis, and that requires changes in your habits. And that's a hard thing to do. You may have heard that it takes about 1 to 2 months on average to change a habit or introduce a new habit. So there's two things. On one side, you need to first review your current habits, become aware of them. This is where presence helps you to actually become aware what kind of habits you have, and then determine, is this habit helping you or is it basically not helpful, and then get rid of those. So getting rid of those unhealthy habits is the first thing. Then the second thing is, in order to basically reach some of these goals or to build up a successful mind management practice, you need some new habits. So it could be a habit that you're starting today, actually start consciously brushing your teeth. So you accumulate 2 mindful minutes. That could be a habit. There's a trigger. The trigger is taking the toothbrush, right? And starting to brush. That's the trigger. Then you become present, and then you continue in a present state, really paying attention to it, right? And so then you do this for a few days. You may forget about it. Remember, there was something. Resume it on the next day. Once you forgot it, try to resume the next day and continue with it. If you do it for 1 or 2 months, then this settles in. It becomes a routine, basically. So that's it. So mind management, to basically summarize: be aware, relax, and recover, right? Letting go, conscious decisions, manifestations, forming healthy habits. There's another one I want to briefly touch as well, which is reflect, identify, and inquire. It's about really reflecting, identifying your limiting thoughts and false beliefs. So that is another critical one that you also need to look at. And so in each of these, I encourage you to read the article on the blog. In each of these dimensions, there's methods, there's KPIs, and at the end, the way you do it is just be consistent. Pick something out of this one category, try to implement it, see if it works. If it doesn't, try something else. So it's little things, but if you do it consistently over a longer period of time, there will be a change, right? Your mind will improve. You train your mind, it will become more calm, more also more focused, more alert, right? Performance of the brain also improves, in particularly if you introduce enough rest and pauses, right? So a lot of good stuff is happening. That's why I'm so motivated talking about this topic of mind management. Of course, I offer a few training and classes for mind management, in particularly 10x presence and awareness. This is one of my really flagship and fundamental courses where you can focus on cultivating awareness in a very systematic way, because that's, I think, is the most important one. Once you start with this, that's the basis. Then you can work usually on those other aspects of mind management, because without awareness, none of the others is basically has a really chance of success, in my experience. It's hard to work on do reflection if you can't focus the mind on being aware, right? And so they're all somehow interdependent, but awareness is the underlying fundamental one. So 10x presence and awareness is something that I highly recommend. If you're curious about it, contact me and I can share more details.